I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100.
Yeah, you are in PE with Dave and Jay. I'm Jay.
I'm Dave.
Let's
get it in. That's right.
What's good with you, Dave? What's good, son?
Hey man, I'm blessed to be here today. To get the glamour muscles in, man. The abdominals, man. To work those out today, man. Got a max rep set for us. A circuit, and then we're gonna utilize some weights at the very end. But for the most part, this is all body weight. Very excited about this workout, man, because we're just like we're gonna push to exhaustion. And same thing, max rep.
Max rep. All right, let's go, man. So what's the first two things that we got going on?
All right, man. So we're gonna do a hanging knee raise, right? So I know it sounds simple, but the nuance with this here, man, is when we do these knee raises, right? When we come back on the negative, man, we want to try to reach our legs as far back as possible, right? We're going to come up and then stretch back. That's where the workout is, man, in that return. And you know what? Since I'm here, I might as well go ahead and get mine.
That. Oh, you bring your knees way up too. Dang.
Oh yes. The key is in that extension, bringing it all the way to the chest and getting that contraction. It's nothing to just get it here, right? Nah, that's nothing. You are full range of motion. All the way up there?
Yeah.
Full range of motion.
Full range of motion. All right.
Maybe that's all I got. Actually, I have more, but man, let's get you right. Let's see where we at. Yeah, so let's control the swing. Momentum is not your friend here. Control the swing. So go a little slower, man. Go a little slower. Let's see where we at. Yeah. You should feel that all the way up, man. This is like hitting all your abdominal muscles. Yeah, you see? There it is.
Ooh.
That's something new. You see what I'm saying? Hey, man, you want to do another one? Let's do another one, man. Let's get another one in.
All right, go ahead, bro. Show us the next thing. Show us the next part of the circuit. How about that?
All right, the next part of the circuit.
Because that one looks a little difficult too.
All right, so it's pretty much the same thing, but I'm coming around with it.
Okay. What do you call those?
Just hanging twist.
Hanging twist? All right, cool. A little hanging twist. Speaking of twist, bro, I got one for you. You ready?
Yeah, man.
There's a little twist. So there's a such thing called misgendering. Teachers are now having to worry about, I knew you would, I knew that would be your response. So I was reading about something, man, where teachers are getting in trouble. They're getting, cited or getting infractions or things put on their record with their employers for misgendering students. All right, so there's a guy, his last name was Merriweather, a professor, where he was a Christian professor of philosophy. And this is like 2018, it started in 2018. There was a transgender student who basically demanded that the professor refer to her as
demanded.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Demanded that the professor refer to her in the female pronoun. And and the professor went on to state that it was impossible. This is what he said. Now I don't know what the person looked like. I don't know why he said it was impossible, but he pretty much refused to refer to the transgender student in the feminine pronoun, and said that he would refer to the student by last name, right? So I'll call them by their last name, right?
Okay.
That wasn't good enough for the student, because there was another incident where the professor was calling the rest of the students Mr. and Mrs. and accidentally called the transgendered student Mr. By the, that which was the gender assigned at birth. So it turned into this big thing, man, where, you know, the school ended up like giving him an infraction, and he in turn sued the school because he said ultimately it goes against his First Amendment right, his freedom of speech, you know? So we're in a situation where now students and teachers are in danger of infracting on the inclusion policy, like the anti-discriminatory laws of schools by misgendering their classmates and their students. What do you think about that, son?
Man, all right, so I'm gonna start this off. I'm gonna start this off by, you know, there's a little quote from Coming to America. He said, "Imagine a country so free that people could throw garbage in the streets, right?" So imagine being in a place where this is the topic of discussion. This is actually, you know, a legal battle. Are you serious? Like, I mean, there's certain things that we're still fighting for, just justice for being murdered in the streets, bro. And this is what we're concerned about. This is what's getting people fired and people are losing their livelihoods about, bro. Like that, and honestly, like, you do what you do. Like, I don't have any issues against the movement or whatever have you, but the man, like, homie, what are we doing? Like, call me supreme overlord, exalter of all I survey. Like, what do you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you demand that I be called something. Like, it doesn't have nothing to do with your education. Does it halter? It doesn't impinge. I mean, I'm sorry, infringe on your education. And I read that article as well. And basically, they were saying the student was making good grades, so there was no discrimination. You understand what I'm saying? There wasn't no discrimination involved. It wasn't like, you know, this student was targeted and they were losing, you know, they were losing out on opportunities because of their status, man. I just think it's petty. I think it's Pandora's box. I think, man, you open up too much when you start to, you know, dig deep into these issues, man. You know, and that's why I just don't. That's why I said, "Oh, brother," when we started, because it's just like, you know, giving it time and space is just, you know, like, so again, I mean, what's the next move? You know, we're gonna say, you know, that. So what I've been hearing is this new movement with pedophilia. These guys are saying that that's a preference. Come on, son. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing? And that's what pains me about this, man. It's like, so imagine, like I said, imagine a country so free that, you know, the pronouns is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, you can get fired for pronouns. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Miss me with that.
All right. Sorry. Well, okay. So, yeah, and duly noted, right? Your opinion is duly noted, right? So, all right. So they take it to an appeals court, right?
I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna do another.
Yeah. So the court says that the professor is in the wrong. The court says that the professor is in the wrong, that his First Amendment rights are essentially suspended because he works for the employer. And he's not satisfied. I think a lot of people can agree with that. You can't go to your job and just say what your political views are and things like that. You suspend certain rights, right? But he wasn't satisfied with that. And this is what is interesting to me. A few things interesting here, but the first thing that's really interesting to me is the second appeal, or whatever it is, the court, the actual appeals court that they took it to, they upheld his First Amendment rights, and this is why: because he's a professor and it's an academic setting. They said that these settings are supposed to be conducive for freedom of speech, and he was not being discriminatory. What he was doing was he was explaining his position on the situation, and because he's a professor and because it's academia, he should be permitted to do so. And in free that thought, sense, right? Free thought, because what they're saying is if you start to stifle and hinder free thought in academia to, you know, to save people's
preference,
feelings,
for preference, homie.
Then what will we be sacrificing in the long run, right?
Yeah. Again, that's rough for me. I can understand being called, you know, out of your name, something derogatory, whatever have you. And I did read that article as well. They tried to mesh us in the process, saying that what if, you know, I think the only flaw in that in their defense was they try to exercise their religious beliefs, and I think that's also Pandora's box, right? Because they try to mesh in to say that, well, what if his religious you know, allowed him to believe that African Americans are less than,
There it is.
right?
That's the
And
other thing.
right, and didn't call them Mr. or Mrs. or whatever have you. Just say, just called them by their surname because they were less than, they were inferior beings.
Right.
I kind of hate being like, I guess, meshed in with this movement. Just to be honest with you, it's not. I think that's so wrong because again, it's not like something. I'm not gonna say people are choosing or whatever have you, right? Let's not go there. But it's again, you wake up in the morning, you're gonna be that regardless. You can't change up the fact that you have brown skin, man. You see what I'm saying, or where you came from. Honestly, you can't change that up. And I guess you can mask certain preferences for employment, or you can mask certain preferences for inclusion. Okay, but you can't hide the fact that you're an African American man. You know what I'm saying? So I think I hate being kind of meshed into
You
that
hate being meshed
equation.
in with the LGBTQ movement.
I guess.
Well,
I guess because again, there's certain things that you can't mask, you can't hide, and you know what I mean. You're right there. You're right there. You know what I'm saying? So.
well, okay. So I would say that is the thing that makes me inclusive. That's the thing that makes me identify with, open-minded, or it makes me identify with the LGBTQ, especially the T and the Q part of it, right? That's what helps me identify with it or empathize with it, because I consider, what if, like you said, what if, he was able to put in, because the Professor Merriweather wanted to put in a clause in his syllabus. He was like, okay, you know what? I'll call Mr. So-and-so Mrs. and refer to them in the feminine pronoun, but I'm going to put in my syllabus that I don't agree with that. And I'm doing that because the anti-discriminatory policy for the college forces me to do so. That's what he wanted to put in his syllabus. They told him, no, you couldn't do that. So I empathize, because I'm like, if I had a white professor, which I had white professors who I thought were racist, and they refused to call me sir, or they call me boy because I was black, I would be flipping over tables and wanting to punch them in the face. So I consider the T and Q community as allies because they are oppressed. They see themselves as oppressed. I hear things that people say about them, and it's oppressive. So yeah, if you're an oppressed people, I can identify with you in that regard. Same thing with women, right? That article also made a comment like, what if his religion says that he deems women to be less than men? Or they should, what do you say? They shouldn't speak in the presence of men, which are some religions do believe that, right? It's like, you can't put a clause in your syllabus that says, this is what I really believe, but I'm gonna let y'all talk anyway because the university says I have to. You feel me? Can you see the?
Well, again, I mean, I think that's that's always the go-to, right? But I think the speed of change is probably what bothers me the most, because, or the speed, how rapid these things, occur. When, like I said, we still are trying to find justice for those slain in the streets by police, and I think that's what's bugging me right now, is the fact that this is headlines. This is something that we talk about more so than we do the real issues with people that get murdered. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, again, I guess just me being biased on the whole situation. Again, like I said, with the Pandora's box, it's like, well, when do you draw the line? When do you it's one of those things where if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything. So when do you draw the line? When is enough enough? You understand what I'm saying? Again, it's not like somebody is not getting an education. It's not like somebody's being allowed in the door, or being, or even being pushed out. It's not the case, man. The thing is, man, you look at someone and you kind of go off that, man. As far as I understand, like, if somebody says, yo, man, this is what I like to be. This is what I like to go off of. I mean, go by. And if somebody doesn't abide by that, I mean, you could lose your job. Like we're like so I want to be called, like I said, supreme overlord, overseer, whatever. You know what I mean? Like seriously, you're gonna really entertain me, right? Like
Wait, hold that
look,
thought. Hold that thought. What's this next exercise you moving on to, man?
all right, man. We're gonna do some leg raises, man. It's about time we get back into this workout, man. I'm getting,
We
you know what
gonna
I'm
do
saying?
we gonna
So
do leg raises?
we're gonna do some leg raises. All right, so leg raises
All right.
on the dip station, and the whole point of this, man, is what we want to do is we want to get our legs all the way up to where we see our butt in the mirror, right? And if you got a mirror in front of you, man, you want to see you see my butt? That's what you want to do.
See your butt.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. The whole point is not just doing a leg raise and get it up here, man. I ain't doing nothing. You want to get it up here. But this is gonna be a max rep as well. And then just at the same time, the next exercise is gonna be an oblique twist. Okay, we're gonna get up on this dip station, right? And what we're gonna try to do is basically contract our muscles to where we're trying to, I guess, kick your forehead, right? For lack of better way to express this here, but I'm trying to kick my forehead. So I'm bringing it up, and I'm contracting my oblique muscles to bring my legs and my chest towards my feet.
This thing right here, I asked so many people what this is called. This one bodybuilder lady, she's like 66 years old. I think she called it a Russian chair or a Roman chair, and she called it a Roman chair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now you said to get my legs as high up as possible. I think you tripping with that. Like you saying go way up there, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, when I usually do this, I go here and then here, and I usually feel that. So what's the purpose of going way up there like that?
So you want a more explosive I guess contraction when you're doing abs, man. I noticed that personally, I noticed that when I do like in and outs on the chair, and I try to bring my knees to my chest, I feel more of a contraction with my abs more so than when I just do kind of a half-assed or just a certain distance up. So I guess to each his own, however you feel it. But for me, it's more of an explosive athletic movement when I bring my legs that far up, because then I have to control it. And again, I'm it's I guess it's more of a preference thing, right? So right. So now
that
like
definitely feels a lot more explosive. And on the way down to control my legs, that I really feel my muscles, my abs like really working to keep control of my legs when they're coming from a height like that. When it's here, it's more like I have to keep myself from rocking. But up here, there is no rock. I have to work in order to bring it down slower. So I think I'm gonna kick my legs up high like that from now on.
And slow up the kick up, and then tell me what you feel on that, because when I slow mine up, I feel more of a contraction. I don't have to do as many.
Definitely, yeah.
And then
I'm not gonna be able to do as many.
And try to maintain a rigid upper body when you do it. So we have the backs to do so. Try not to rock so far back. So allow the legs to do the work. So you get more of a leg workout. An ab workout when you work from the bottom up instead of the top down. You understand?
Now, in order for me to put my legs up high like that, I'm gonna have to swing them up, because for me to get them up that high, I need it to be like you said, an athletic movement.
Right.
I can't raise them. They won't raise on their own just slowly that high.
Right.
So
get it how you can get it, and we'll work on that. That's what I'm saying. That's the beauty of all of this, right? Now we're accentuating some of our weaknesses, and then we're gonna get to a point where we're gonna get stronger, and you're gonna see the results on this channel. So that's what's up.
All right, cool.
I like that.
All right, so I'm gonna take my set, man. And I think you had something that you wanted to say about to continue that conversation. My point is that oppression is oppression. Discrimination is discrimination, and the T and the Q of the LGBTQ community, they are just as oppressed as people of color, or just as oppressed as women or Hispanics. What do you think about that?
Well, this is the thing. So look, I agree that those folks are, I would say they are oppressed. Yes. There's a lot of people that have strong opinions about that, and they allow their decisions to be based on how they feel about those folks, man. And I think that's wrong. But I'm also a firm believer in fairness, man. And where do you draw the line, man? Is standing for something real. And I think some folks just take advantage. It's just like us, man. We take advantage of a lot of programs and things as well. And when we had that whole big rash of like, talk to me this way, you're gonna get fired. You say this, call me boy, this whatever. You know what I mean? I get it. And I understand the correlation, right? But again, like where do you draw the line? And again, I like the fact that there are rules in favor of the professor, because it's like, yes, free thought in academia. Like, what are we trying to do? Are we going to stifle that as well? Just because of someone's preference that there's not necessarily life or death. You understand what I'm saying? So I mean, I might sound a little insensitive, but it's just like, where does it stop? And that's my concern. Where does it stop? Where do we just say, all right, enough is enough, man? This is not hindering anyone's progression. You understand what I'm saying? So again,
so you're saying, and I feel you. You're saying that it's not hindering. It's not hindering the student's progression because the student was still doing well in the class, right?
Right. And they definitely didn't show their bias in their grading process.
Okay, so I'll say this. I'll say it is hindering their progression. Well, for one, I'm under the impression of what he's saying. Matter of fact, you referenced Coming to America, so I'm gonna reference Coming to America, right?
Yes, sir.
His mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
I'm gonna call him Clay.
Now, I disagree with that. Right? So I legally changed my last name. Right? And I legally changed my last name because I always hated my born last name. Me and my pops aren't really. That's a whole nother story. But I changed my last name because I have the right to do so, and I'm a grown ass man. Now, with that being said, my new last name is dope. Everybody loves it, besides my mom's. Right? My mom's continues to call me by my last name, and she does it on purpose. Shout out to my mom, she's the queen of the world, right? But still, she continues to do that. She is not going to call me Malcolm X. She's going to call me Cassius Clay. And I believe that a person has the right to be called what they want to be called. Now, even though I think however I think about what you were assigned or what your genitalia says you are, why I say genitalia so Italian, like a genitalia? Regardless of what my personal opinions and beliefs are, at the end of the day, if you tell me, call me this, then I think that you have the right to be called that, period. So even if you're not transgender, even if I'm not transgender and I sit in Professor Merriweather's class and I say, hey, call me Autobot. My name is Autobot. Matter of fact, that's what the school did. The schools now are saying that students have the right to be not only called what pronoun, but to be called whatever name they choose. So you have financial aid on their records. You have financial aid that says your first and last name is this. You have all these student records that say that your last name is the same as, or it's this name. But you can tell the school, regardless of what the records say, this is what I'm going to be known as here. And they have the right to do that. So in that sense, in that regard, the professor's tripping.
All right. You're set. My turn. You know what? I agree. You know what? If you want to call me Optimus Prime, if I want to be called Optimus Prime, you gonna call me Optimus Prime. But I'm not gonna get fired if I don't. That's what I'm tripping about. Like, I'm not gonna get fired because, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get fired. You should get fired because you don't call me Optimus Prime. So, like, that's what I don't understand. Like, if it's derogatory, if I call you out of your name, you know what I'm saying? Where we know that this is, you know what I'm saying? Like out of the box. Like the N-word, whatever have you, right? Come on, man. Like that's common sense. Now I get it. We're trying to normalize that. We're trying to make it so it's like, well, this is hurting your feelings, so you should abide by it, blah blah blah. And I get that, but again, when do we stop? That's my whole point here. When does it stop? And that's what I'm afraid of, man. I'm afraid of, this our moral fiber. Not a moral fiber. No, that's not what I'm saying. But like, our institutions just like unraveling because of pronouns, homie. Like, I don't know. Like I said, missing with that.
Okay, so
I don't think that's an issue in our society.
You think it's going too far? So, and you're saying if we're gonna let it go too far, so like, I mean, to a certain extent, I feel you, right? And this is definitely a conversation that we are not gonna, of course, get to the bottom of in this workout. And I look forward to speaking with or having some guests on that are transgender, so we could have a better understanding. So when you mentioned going too far, I think of things like that Soledad's lady who pretended to be Black, and she was running her local chapter up at NAACP, and then Dola's ass. Yeah, Dola's ass, right? Clearly a white lady, and they damn near had to prove to her that they knew that she was white. And then years later, she does a documentary and she says she identifies as Black, right?
Okay.
So it's like, it does open up, like you say, Pandora's box about like, when does this stop? Like, I identify as a canine, not to say that canines and transgendered are equal. I'm just saying, like, I identify as a Martian. I identify as a, you know what I mean? Like, can I identify as an Asian man? Can I identify as an Asian? I feel you on that. But on the other side, to answer your other question, from my perspective, when you say when does it stop, I think as an ally with the Pride community, I would say it stops when the injustices against their people stop, or it stops when they're free to be themselves and not be persecuted or not be laughed at or not be poked at or not be hurt or killed. Because transgender, like, this is a community where people are hurt, murdered, and people tend to not even care because they're like, yeah, well, they were outliers. They probably weren't even telling people that they were transgender. This happens, bro. This happens. They are persecuted.
Well,
you don't even hear about it.
Well, no, I get it, but people get persecuted. Again, I'm gonna be on my Rico, man. People get persecuted every day, G. Like, for whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that's nothing. You're not gonna stop that, okay? But to say that they're not accepted in society, these guys have, man, I'm gonna sound like an old white man, but it's like they have programming for them. They have programs within within the government. You understand what I'm saying? They have again, we all accept it. We accepted it, bro. This is here and it's gonna stay. And no one should have a problem with that. But it's just like, how far do you take it? You know what I mean? I guess maybe if you look at it, maybe it was smarter than us, and when we were let in the door, we kind of let off the gas, huh? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're saying, no, we're going full throttle in this. We're gonna get everything, but to be laughed at and ridiculed, I mean, come on, that's life. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna happen regardless. It's gonna happen if you wear bobos in the wrong environment, right? Like, it just, like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's not gonna stop. Okay, but to say that they're not accepted and this is not something that everybody's accustomed to now is just false.
Nah, bro, you really
in our world.
Yeah, we definitely agree to disagree. We agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah,
I do not think that they are accepted. I think what is happening is there is a push, maybe too heavy of a push, but there's a push for them to be accepted. But I know, personally speaking,
by who though? But who accepted by who? Like, who are we trying to convince? Who are we talking about? To convince? Yeah, that's the real question for me. Like, who is this boogeyman that we're like, man, he's got to give the nod of approval, and then they're accepted. I mean, again, like me, for instance, I have. Okay, go ahead.
I guess the same people that Black people or women or handicapped folks or those same people that are pushing to be accepted or to be understood, those are that's the same community that transgenders are trying to be accepted by. And also, I would say, yeah, I would agree that there is an agenda to push certain beliefs, and whether or not that's right, it's one thing. But I would say a transgender student like Meriwether had, on one hand, it seems like she was baiting him, but on the other hand, it seems like she might have been trying to open up the understanding because it was supposed to be a free thinking environment. So she wants not only him to understand, you must call me this because this shows that you are, it's like, you don't call Black people colored, You must call a Black person Black or African American. You can't call them colored anymore because that shows a lack of understanding.
Okay.
It shows a lack of understanding.
Once lack of empathy once identified. And again, so and that's cool, but should you get fired for it?
Would you want, so if one of your daughters high
lack
school,
of understanding.
if your youngest daughter's teacher, a middle school teacher, called her colored, say, "Come here, little colored girl," would you want her fired?
Hell would I want to
yeah.
fire?
Hell fucking
what
yeah.
I want to.
You would want that bitch gone.
You know what's weird is I guess I would break down, colored, because I mean we say it, NAACP. I mean National Association for Colored People.
You got them there. They need to change it.
So I would.
They need to change it to
right. I would
TC.
whatever,
NAACP.
right? Right, but my thing is this: like, I would have to break down, colored, like in that sense. Like, does this woman have a history of being this type of way? Is my child doing, awful in this class? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you about, some folks I know that still use that word, right?
Yeah, he told me, yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, I think the more power that you give it is one of those. I think that's when it starts to unravel a little bit. I don't really give it much because I know. I guess deep down in this man's heart, he doesn't mean any harm by it because that was a phrase I was just saying. It wasn't more so like, damn these colored folks. It's
you're talking about somebody
that
used it with you. Somebody used the word colored with
you. Yeah. It's like,
yeah,
like, damn these colored folks. I can't stand them. They're taking all our jobs. It's saying, I guess it's all in context because again, we say it, we use it. So that's one of those things, man. Anyway, let me get to this next exercise.
Yeah, show me what it is, and we'll finish. Yeah.
All right. So the next exercise is going to be called a scorpion plank with a twist. All right. So you're going to be up in the plank position. You can see me good, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to be doing, man, is going to be lifting your leg up, and you're going to be bringing it across your body like that.
All right.
And then you're going to be switching, right? So the point of this is to try to keep your back taut and tight. You know what I mean? You don't want to go all crazy and be swinging around here. The whole point is just to engage your core and your abs to be able to swing your leg around. You can feel this in the obliques, and you can feel this in the, your abdominals here in the front. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
See, man, excuse me, I don't know the terms. I'm working on it. I just know I need to work them, right? So you just want to swing your leg to the back, and if you don't feel this, man, I don't know what will, man. So.
And what's the next part of the circuit?
The next part of the circuit is called the warrior bow. All right, it's kind of a yoga move. All right, so I'm going to be taking my right arm, and my left leg, and I'm going to be extending them out as far as I can, thumb in the air, and my heel in the air, and then I'm going to be bringing it in and making contact. I'm going to go out, bring it in, and making contact. So with this, I want to try to do a max rep, but on the warrior bow, try to stay balanced. So I would say 15 per side, just to keep a balance, right? Because I kind of want to stay with the same side until exhaustion.
Yeah, until exhaustion. Yeah, then the next.
Right. So 15 or whatever you can handle, right? Whatever you can handle. So yeah, that's the next two. Man. That's the next two.
All right, bet.
And I'll set it.
You set it off. All right, cool. Yeah, man. So okay. All right. So what about So do you think that transphobia exists at least, right? Like
Yes. Of course.
All right. So would you say that you're transphobic?
No, I'm not. And I had to stop my workout for that. No, I'm not at all, man. Again, I respect all people's decisions that they make, man. I don't have a problem with those folks because honestly, it doesn't affect my life. You understand what I'm saying? Like real talk, like that's them. I'm me. I'm over here. You know what I mean? So I don't have, and I'm not one of those, I got friends that are blah, blah, blah. I can't stand that expression, right? I mean, honestly, I can say I don't have too many friends anyway, right? So but I don't have friends necessarily that. Well, yeah, actually, I do. I do. Well, I'm bullshitting, right? And it don't affect me. That don't affect my relationship with anyone. And I don't judge them. I just think like there's certain like we talked about in previous episodes where I think they're being exploited. I think that that some folks are definitely taking advantage of the system, and that's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with anyone doing that necessarily, like going overboard and discrediting what the real folks are trying to do, and that's the problem that I have. Like there's folks out there that just wanted to be recognized, right? That just wanted to be, wanted to be able to have gainful employment because of their choice, their sexual preference, or whatever, or their gender choice, right? And
Right.
I'm for that. I'm for that. But I think that's where I draw the line, right? Like if it's gonna affect your livelihood and your state of being. Now, when we start talking about feelings, that's when I'm like, all right, man, it's hard. That's hard, man. But you know what? You're right. You make a good point about, when you're called out of your name, like when they use the disparaging terms of the N word or whatever have you, or Negro or whatever. You know what I mean? Those certain things. I understand that how that's demeaning and it takes away from your self confidence. Um, but pronouns, man, we talking about pronouns, man.
But that is okay. So that's the
We
thing.
ain't
That's the
talking
thing, right? That's the thing
right. We're
about
not
it, though.
talking
For the transgender community, like for instance, if you call a white person nigger or color, they're not gonna care, right? But if you call a black person, obviously they're gonna care. For a transgender person, part of their plight, part of their oppression is the pronoun. And it sounds so trivial to us because that's not our issue. Us being
not our
called,
fight.
yeah, that's not our shit, right? Our shit is being called monkeys, or because that shit like that still happens. People still reference some athlete that looks like a monkey, and then they end up losing their coaching position, right? So, but for the transgender community, their part of their oppression is people refusing to refer to them in the proper pronoun. So to call one that is assigned male at birth, but then transitions to female, because that's how they feel. They feel like they were, misgendered at birth. To call them he or his or him or sir or mister is like calling them nigger or nigger or calling them colored or calling them spick or calling them kite, and I think that's how I can align myself with them in that understanding. But also that's why it is a big deal. That's why when they sit in class, even though they're not denied entry to the class, it's still a form of oppression to them.
All right. So this is the deal. So Buddy didn't necessarily go that route, okay? Buddy, and we're talking about this case in particular. Buddy didn't go out his way to call this person out of their name, right? So they said, okay, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna deal with the bullshit. I'm gonna just call you by your last name, and we're gonna just keep it simple, right? Because it's easy to confuse this because you obviously look like this. I deal with 1,000 people daily, 1,000 students daily, right? And so for me to, just call you out and to look at you in particular and say, okay, I must remember you of all people to say, whatever have you, right? And that's not, what I mean? And I think they fouled up and they said something, they said, well, you said Mister or whatever have you. So I mean,
Yeah.
I can't even speak right now on this damn shit. But they fucked up and did that, and then like I said, they get fired for it, bro. Like that's ridiculous to me, man. I think that's taking advantage. Again,
well,
it's not like this.
He didn't get fired. He got reprimanded, and he got like basically this equivalent
like,
to a write up. No. He got like a write up. He got written up pretty much.
Then why is he trying to sue?
That's what I wanted to know, right? Like, how did he lose?
Yeah.
What financial gain did he lose? But article didn't say. Definitely, we'll drop the link. But the article didn't say that he was fired. It said that he got written up and it went on his permanent record. And
okay, so
after that,
it basically it took from his what's the word I'm looking for?
His reputation. From his reputation.
Yeah, his reputation was tarnished. Right. Okay, well, okay, so and again, he has basis, but I think on a legal sense, he messed up trying to go that religious route. I think that's kind of garbage,
right?
Because you're fighting, fire with fire, almost. It's the same philosophy. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So I just don't. I mean, that's another topic. Not trying to take away from either point of views. But it's fire with fire, man. And
Let's talk about it, man. I mean, well, you know what? Let's save the religious aspect of it for when we have an expert, someone who is actually living a transgender life, right? So how about this? Dave Chappelle. All right. Dave Chappelle. Matter of fact, we got one more exercise after this. So maybe we should hold Dave Chappelle off until the next exercise, right?
We got four exercises.
We got four. All right, cool. So let's talk about it. Dave Chappelle. I know you saw the what was it? The closer. I know you saw the closer, right? We saw that weeks ago. We just been waiting to talk about it. Dave Chappelle actually called himself transphobic. Now he probably was saying it in jest. Because I think his overall message was that he's not transphobic, that he just tells jokes and he has an opinion, right?
It's funny. It's funny.
And overall, he was saying he's like, anybody that knows me knows that my issue isn't with the LGBT community. My issue is with white folks. That's what he said. I don't talk about them. I talk about white people, right?
Right.
What's your take on the Dave Chappelle joke? Because it's still like they're trying to cancel him, this huge thing, to the point where he couldn't even put out the documentary on, I think it was is it on George Floyd? He produced a documentary on George Floyd, and that is the part that is really affecting him when it comes to being canceled. He's saying, theaters don't want to run the documentary because of this special he did.
Project.
Yeah. So talk to me about that.
All right.
You want to move to the next exercise on the mat first?
Yeah. So that's what I'm about to
what we got?
So the next one is going to be a spread leg banana cannonball. All right, and this exercise is pretty much just sitting here on the mat.
Sounds like ice cream.
And it sounds but it's pretty. When you see the motion, you're gonna be like, I get the name, right? So
sounds like a sex position. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home today and tell my wife, "Hey, I want the spread leg banana cannonball." That's what it's. I got it.
Now I gotta find a new name. All right, so you're in this position like a banana, right? And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my legs spread. I'm gonna come in like a cannonball, and I'm gonna spread it back out, and then I'm gonna come back down into the banana. So come in, cannonball it.
Cannonball. Banana.
Spread it out.
Banana. I'm a banana. I'm a banana.
Yeah. So,
I'm a cannonball.
Cannonball.
All right, cool. Banana.
Cannonball. Banana. But you're gonna spread the legs, right? You're gonna spread the legs. You're gonna feel this everywhere, bro. Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right. What's our second part of the circuit?
The next one is gonna be a cherry bomb. It's pretty much the same motion, but with a twist on it, right? So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna hit the side like a banana. You're gonna come up. You're gonna cannonball it.
Cannonball.
You're gonna spread it out. You're gonna spread it out and bring it back in into the side.
All right. Boom. 1.
Explosion.
2.
Boom. To the side.
All right. Boom. All right. I'll go first.
All right.
Tell me your take on tell me your take on the closer.
I mean, man. So all right. So the whole talk now is that you're trying to cancel your boy, and he went off the deep end, man. I don't see how he did. To be honest with you, everything it's jokes. Yeah, it's tough.
I'm trying to keep my balance.
It's a tough one, man. But yeah, it's jokes. It's just like, when Richard Pryor used to go in there, man, he used to talk about, black folks do this, white folks do this. Those are funny games. When we talked about ourselves, those are all funny games, right? Everybody's sitting there laughing. When Dave Chappelle was on, what had a TV sitcom, it was all fun and games when he was making fun of us, right? It was all fun and games. That shit was funny as fuck, right? Now he's making fun of, right?
The black delegation.
He's making fun of our culture. It was hilarious.
Remember the Tiger Woods joint he did? He was like, I always wanted to say this. For shizzle.
Yeah. And then
that's hilarious.
the thing is, what's killing me is that, like, yeah, when he said it plainly. He said, yeah, it was all fun and games when, they were laughing with me, but then when they were laughing at me, man, that's when I had to change perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what you're doing in there. Let me see what you do. I gotta watch my man. Then to the side. Make sure you get to that side. Make sure you get to that side. I ain't see you get to that side.
I got to the side.
This is how you know this is real, right there. This is how you know this is real. I love it. I love it. This is how you know it's real, bro. That's what's up. Get all the way. Get all the way. Get all the way. Get all. That's how you know this is real. That's how you know. But anyway, they're talking about trying to cancel you, man. I think it's whack. I think he wasn't necessarily. I think he was putting them on the map. Like, if you ask me, he was putting them on the map, man. He was just putting them out there in his fashion. And guess what? Dave Chappelle is a fucking comedian. He was putting them on the map in his own way. He didn't go up there bashing these folks. You understand what I'm saying? He put them on the map. He put them up here to now we're talking about this on PE with Dave and Jay, bro. Come on, son. Like, it's and honestly, I think it's a bit of pandering. I said it before, I said it again. I think he was pandering. I think he was, Dave Chappelle, man, is the greatest. I love that dude, right? But he was giving them their props in their own way, right? Like, he put them on a stage. He didn't go up there destroying them. And then we, like I said, man, we talk about that taking advantage. Where do you draw the line, man? Enough is enough, man. If you want to be included in society, man, you can be included in that sense as well. Like, you know what I mean? You should be able to be talked about, ridiculed, whatever have you, all the fun, the same way anybody else is in the society.
I agree with you on that.
Cut it out.
I agree with you on that.
Cut it out.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Yes, sir. Them shit's hard. Them shit's hard. That's definitely a core exercise. The banana boat cherry bombs. The banana split cherry bomb.
The banana cannonball.
The banana cannonball, yeah.
Banana cannonball and cherry bomb.
The spread. Now you said the spread leg. You said the spread leg. You put spread legs in there.
Yeah, because the banana's spread leg. Banana's a spread leg, right? All of it is really spread leg, because you feel it with the spread leg.
Yeah, it is spread leg.
You feel it.
Yeah. So you know what?
I'm a machine though.
One thing about it is, man, he is a comedian, man. And I mean that doesn't mean that comedians can't say hurtful shit, right? Comedians can say hurtful shit.
I agree.
They can say hurtful shit, but at the same time, man, if you really want to be included, it's like they say, right? They say, like whenever I would bring a new girlfriend home, right? My moms would always tell the girlfriend. My moms would always tell the girlfriend, the new girlfriend, she'll say, when you meet Trevor, or this is Trevor, my brother's name is Trevor, to the workout buddies. She would say, when you meet Trevor, he's gonna poke fun at you. If he doesn't poke fun at you, that means he doesn't like you. So if he pokes fun at you, you're good. You're good. So basically we only make fun of the people that we like, right? Like, you don't poke fun at poke fun at the new guy. You don't poke fun at the new guy or the new girl or the new person that you meet, because you don't know them, right? But when you're confident in your relationship with someone, that's when you can joan on them and make fun of them. I mean, some people would agree. I would agree with that part ways, but also bullies poke fun at people that they don't know, So in that sense, Dave Chappelle and comedians can be seen as bullies if you don't understand their relationship with that community. I think in that sense, that's why Dave Chappelle, and I agree with you, started pandering. He wanted to make sure, because this isn't his first rodeo. He's been doing stand-up about the LGBT community. One of his funniest fucking jokes about that community, in my opinion, y'all can red flag me if you want, but it's when he was talking about them all being in the car together. That shit was funny as hell, right? So if y'all haven't seen it, I think it was called Sticks and Stones. I think that's the one it was on. But some of his jokes are funny, but some of his jokes can be seen as him being a bully if you don't understand that he has a relationship with the community. That's why he started pandering, talking about the transgender comedian that he had a friendship with that committed suicide. In that sense, he sounded like a old white man saying, "I'm not racist. I'm not racist.
Yeah,
I got plenty of black friends. We're black friends over." Yeah, that's what he sounded like to me when he did that.
But it is, because we're so sensitive as a community. We're so sensitive as human race right now that we have to say shit like that. And again, look, man, shout out to that community. I mean, I get it. I mean, the struggle was real, or it is real. And I can get how like any little thing can come across as like, all right, they're trying to play us. Let's exercise our rights and make sure that this doesn't happen further. I get it. Like, don't get me wrong, I get it. But again, when it comes to Dave, no, Dave is their advocate, bro. Are you kidding me? Dave put them on the map, man. Stop it. And you know, I love his comedy. I love his sensibility. And I love the fact that he's been outspoken for all of us. You understand what I'm saying? All of us. And you can't take that away, man. You can't take away that voice. You can't take away that voice. You can't cancel Dave Chappelle. We need him. Y'all need him. We need him. You understand what I'm saying? So cut the bullshit. Cut the bullshit out. Y'all going too far.
You know what
That's
I
all
don't
I gotta
need?
say on that.
I don't need to pay $120 and sit in the fucking nosebleeds to see him though. I tried to get them tickets because you know he's only going to a certain number of cities. I wanted to support Dave Chappelle. I want to, bro. I want to, but my podcast hasn't taken off the way I needed to yet. Come endorse my podcast so I can. Dave Chappelle, come endorse PE. Come do one workout with us so that I can afford your tickets.
No doubt.
Yo, so I figured out a little trick with the I figured out what I was doing wrong. You tell me if I'm doing it incorrectly or if I'm cheating. With the banana cannonball. What I was initially trying to do when I was here, I was trying to come completely up. I was like trying to like, okay, so look, I'm gonna start from this position. I was trying to be here, like perfectly tucked. And I don't really think that that's essential. I think what's most essential, what I feel most, is just coming up here. I don't have to grab my knee. I was trying to grab my knees like this, like it was a real cannonball. You don't have to do that. That was throwing me off. Coming here and just wrapping my hands around without my feet touching. Here.
Yeah, work where you can, and then eventually work yourself up to that point. Like, right. I mean, if rapping right here is a cheat, if this is a cheat, right? Then yes, I would not. Okay,
right.
But for me, it's not. Like, if I'm rapping, I'm kind of like engaging my core to be able to hug. You know what I'm saying? So that's even more of a workout for me. Like, you know what I mean? But if it's a cheat mode to where it keeps you up, like, you know what I mean?
Then it keeps me up. And really what it does is when I rap like that, it makes my feet come forward. But here, I'm more using my core without touching my hands. I'm using my core to keep myself up. Yeah.
I just work out the oblique side bend, man. You see a lot of folks at the gym, they grab a weight, you know what I'm saying, rock it to the side, man. It's pretty much that, right? But what I do is I try to, develop a mind muscle connection when I do this workout, man. So I got my weight here. I do this pretty heavy, man, because there's no point going light, something like this, man. Your abs really pop when you use weights for abs, at least for me. So what I want to do is, man, the key for me in this workout is to take this elbow and to try to drive it towards my hip. And I try to hold it for maybe a half a second or so. And I'm really targeting the obliques and the side abdominal muscles here. Not just like kind of bending to the side. I'm more going towards the grain of the muscle, and it's in this direction.
Got it.
You see that?
Yep.
Then I'm gonna switch sides, right? I'm gonna do 15 per side, and then I'm gonna switch sides. So the other workout, I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see me here. Let me lower that here. Okay, it's a medicine ball, or you can take a plate or a dumbbell, and you're pretty much going to take this. It's not the medicine ball I'm going to use. I normally use like a 25, and then you're going to take this. You're going to raise your feet off the ground, and you're going to contact the ground on each side. And each rotation, left to right, is one move, and you're going to do 50.
Right. Got it.
So look, 1, 2. All right. So the key is to try to keep your body straight as possible. Don't let your arms do the workout. I'm sorry, not straight. I'm sorry. Retract that. You want your body to do the rotation, not your arms. All right? So you want to keep your body rigid, plus, but you're twisting your torso.
Got it.
All right?
Got it.
That's what targets the ass in the core. And remember to keep your legs off the ground.
Right.
All
right. So do you think anybody should ever be canceled? Do you think anybody should ever be canceled?
Cancel. Everybody should ever be canceled. You know what? In America, probably not. I'm gonna be an antagonist here, and I'm gonna say nah because this is freedom. We do have freedom of speech. We have freedom of expression, and if it hurts people's feelings, I mean, that's what makes us, right? That's what makes this country us. You have freedom of expression. So, no, I mean, honestly, like, don't support it, right? And that's how you hurt people. You hurt people financially. Especially if someone has a platform like Dave Chappelle or somebody. If that's the case, you hurt them financially, man. Don't support them. It's as simple as that. People should be able to say what they want. Honestly, people do say what the hell they want. Let's be real. Like they do. People say what they want in church. They say what they want I think the media pretty much controls a lot of that narrative, right? But they have their prerogative to do so because it's privately owned, right? The media is privately owned. It's not a government. It's not a government corporation or government control corporation, rather. I'm sorry. So,
Right.
yeah, people say what the fuck they want all the time. Do they get? I mean, what is the definition of cancel, though? I mean,
It's what you're saying. That's the funny part. It's the definition of cancel is what you're saying. They want them to not be able to put out content so people can't support them, so they can't make a livelihood. They want to affect them financially. That's what cancel culture is about.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, then, I mean, then you as far as canceling them in their own right, then I mean, your community can cancel. But as far as that transcending into the media, whatever that them doing so and not allowing them that ability to express their opinion, that's another thing. To say like, okay, now they're blackballed. Like, don't support it. That's what I'm saying. Don't support it. Like, now you can't do it anywhere. Now no one wants to mess with you. Like, I mean, that's kind of crazy. But again, I mean, I don't know. That has everything to do with people following and to the most part. I mean, I know you're gonna bring up the black thing, like, okay, well, what if this dude is saying this again? I mean, if they still do it, they do it for years. It's just, what are we gonna do? What can you really do about it? This is America. This is what makes this country great. And
you could blast them. You could blast them and get them canceled. You could say you could
right,
make
or you use them.
You could ostracize them. You could ostracize them and say that they're wrong for saying this and they're wrong for thinking this, and anybody who supports them is on their side and they align with them. So you should be blackballed too. That's what they try. That's what cancel culture is.
And then on the other side is that you should be blackballed. You should be blackballed because you believe that. You know what I mean? Like it goes both ways. Like
that's what
I mean.
That's what Dave Chappelle would say. He would say that you should be blackballed for trying to blackball me.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, man. So you kind of, again, it's the Pandora's box for me. Again, like who's right, who's wrong, who's right and who's wrong, right? Who determines that? Again, we've taken religion out of the picture. We've taken all of these different, governing facilities out of our lives for free thought. Who makes the calls? Who say what's right and what's wrong anymore? And that's that's the real thing. So as far as cancel culture, and that, I mean, again, you just don't support it. Just don't support it, right?
So this conversation actually has made me look at cancel culture differently, and it made me see something about it that I didn't see before. And what that is that cancel culture is looking to speak for you. They're looking to take your not the person, because when we talk about cancel culture, we're always looking at the celebrity, right? The person, the object of the cancel. No, the problem with cancel culture for me now is that they're trying to take away the freedom of choice from the people. They're trying to say they're trying to say I shouldn't support Dave Chappelle because Dave Chappelle said something. And if I support Dave Chappelle, or if I support I'll go as far as to say Trump, right? If I support Trump, then it's something intrinsically wrong with me as a person. They're trying to take away my freedom of thought and my freedom to choose. So what I hear you saying is, if the person, instead of trying to cancel the person just don't fuck with them. Just don't patronize their business or don't patronize their show or whatever it is. The old-fashioned way.
That's why I love you. That's why I love you, right? See, my man's a scholar. He puts it eloquently. I'm just, I'm rambling off, this rough and tumble crap. But yeah, it's pretty much that. I mean, you're going against the grain of First Amendment anyway, where you cancel folks in the first place. I said that before, and I'm gonna say it again. Like, how? So again, you're free to say and do whatever you want, but then if it hurts your feelings, then get rid of him. No way he should be allowed on TV. It's the
Right.
same thing they said about you, a couple years back or 10, 20 years ago. So what are we
About who?
doing here? You again, remember when we talked about like now that now that you're on top, are you going to exercise the same privilege that they had on you? Are you going to do the same? And that's what I'm seeing. That's exactly what I'm seeing. Now that cat's got a voice and they're on top, it's going too far. Now you're doing the same thing that they did to you.
Hmm.
So where does it stop?
Okay, I can see that. What about somebody like, okay, so you're saying, so okay, what about somebody who is a leader in the nation? Not, but because you and I both agree that entertainers and athletes, they get too much acclaim, right? They have too much prestige and too much power over the country. Like people treat them like they're the politicians or like they're the leader. They're just they're not, they didn't get in the game to be thought leaders. They got in the game because they have a talent and because they want to get paid. Most of them. All right. So what about an actual thought leader or a social leader, like a president, like Trump, or like a politician? Like, should these people be canceled based on what they think and what they believe or what they say?
All right, canceled. Should they be canceled? All right, so look, my opinion on what the president should do. Because honestly, I just don't think the president has much say in politics as everyone thinks they do. Right? I think the legislative branch pretty much runs government, and that's where everyone's getting their marching orders from. Um, but that's besides the point. As far as the president, I think his job, with that being said, is to be kind of a uniting force and what brings this nation together. I mean, we're a melting pot of so many different ideas and so many different ideologies and religions, races, creeds, whatever have you, right? And I think it's the president's job to bring that all together to make America, as great as it has been, right? Or all right, uh, in comparison to other nations that are not as diverse. You understand what I'm saying? Or maybe that
Yeah.
are trying to be as diverse as we are, right? So I think so with that being said, it is his job to kind of not be biased when it comes to those issues. You understand what I'm saying? And not really put his personal bias out there in the street for us to kind of mull over and fight against each other, so that's where I see, the flaw in the last president. I think he failed at that. Like I said, he put his bias out there, especially with the Kaepernick thing, and that wasn't his job, bro. His job wasn't to go out there and to talk about what he felt about Kaepernick and his
Right.
movement and whatever happened. His job was to kind
Right.
of bring us together to find to actually find out what that was about and to kind of work together to see, to show some empathy and say, hey, look, man, what is this? What is it? What's going on? Like again, this is not for
Right.
this is not for no reason. This is not just black guys being spoiled or whatever have you.
Right.
What's really going on? And the thing is, I think his work divided us even further. And he definitely chose a side. That's not your job. You're not supposed to choose a side. You're supposed to find solutions to our social issues. Honestly, as a president. I mean, it's your only real job, man. Real talk. Like, honestly, you're the scapegoat. You're a scapegoat for all that goes wrong in a 4-year tenure, right? But as far as the social, I mean, that's the least you can do is to try to unite us and bring us together to have that face up there to say, okay, this is how other countries see us, open-minded,
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I can't really express myself as well as I want to about it, but I think you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right,
that's how I view that.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, do you think Dave Chappelle is transphobic?
Do I think he's transphobic? No.
Yeah, I can't see your face. Back up a little bit. Nah, it didn't come across as transphobic to me. I think Dave Chappelle's just like anybody can get it. Anybody can get it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, because I thought about it, man. I am a Dave Chappelle fan. All right, like I'm a Dave Chappelle fan. I have been for a long time. I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the Chappelle show. It wasn't necessarily, and I binge watched it one summer or something. But I mean, I like Charlie Murphy. You know, he had parts of that show that I thought were dope. You know,
He made
but
the show.
overall, I think Dave Chappelle's stand-up is insightful and smart and funny and shocking, and I like that, right? But with that being said, damn, I forgot my train of thought. I'm gonna have to pause that. It's like my brain fell asleep. Oh shit! All I'm thinking about is my abs, bro. Yeah, definitely a Dave Chappelle fan, man. So I would say Dave Chappelle is in my top. I would say he's in my top 3 comedians. If we were gonna say top 3 comedians, Dave Chappelle would probably be my number 2. I think Dave Chappelle's my number 2.
Wow, funny. Dave Chappelle is also my number 2.
Yeah.
Would you like for me to share my number 1?
Yeah, who's your number 1, bro? No, tell me your number 3. Tell me your number 3. Tell me your number 3.
My number 3, all right, for our era, comedian, right? We're talking comedian. Right?
It don't even have to be our era. You want to do just our era?
No.
All right, cool. We can do that.
No. Comedian.
Okay.
I mean, I guess when I say our eras, it's like what related to, you know, our time, and so number 3 for me is Martin, man. I know that shit's corny.
Yeah.
I know that shit's corny, but Martin has such an impact on my life, man. Martin, pretty much. I mean, like I binge watched Martin, his television show, and again, it's a little bit of blaxploitation involved, right? It's you know, our era blaxploitation, but man, it was hard hitting. It was like you rushed, like, you know, you couldn't wait for that to come on Channel 5. You know, because it was ours, right? Like it was ours. Like I mean, we had The Living Color, and we had old shows like that, like, you know, satires, comedy, whatever. But you know, Martin was, I don't know, man, was just like that dude is just remarkably funny. Like, and he's slapstick. He's a slapstick comic, and
he was a slapstick comic.
He's a physical comedian, right? And I don't know, man. It was just something about all the characters that he played, and just his wit, man. He was just quick witted. He was just like, you know, that you know, that real funny, like goofy street kid. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I just related to his style so well, man. Especially like the Jerome character. You know, dude, he killed everything he did. Everything he did, he killed on that show, man. It was just
Roscoe. Roscoe was my favorite. Who's the little boy? Yeah. The little boy with the snot nose was Roscoe.
Yeah, it was Roscoe. Yeah,
that was my favorite one. And then Shanae.
Yeah,
Jerome in the house.
Killed it for the hood. He killed it for the hood, right? Like
I'm a player.
He gave us something
from that.
Yeah, he gave us something. He gave us something to look forward to on Mondays, man. So
who was the karate guy? The karate guy.
Dragonfly Jones.
Dragonfly Jones.
Yeah, Dragonfly Jones.
And all his movies all of his movies were funny, pretty much. All Big Mama's House.
But see, I'm not gonna say no. All his movies were not funny.
Not all of them. Not all of them, but I would say most of his movies.
But I like Blue Street.
Blue Street was good.
Blue Street was good. Nothing to Lose was funny. The Black Knight was terrible, but it had funny.
I rock with the Black Knight too. It's a good little Sunday afternoon movie.
For the kids,
I like the Black Knight.
Roscoe Jenkins, by far one of the best ones for me. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch that. I can't think of it right now.
Oh my God!
Said the Entertainer was in that, right? Said the Entertainer was in that.
That was in Life, and Life was hilarious.
Oh my God!
Life was hilarious. So yeah, I mean, Martin is one of the best. Martin's one of the best that did it in our lifetime. You know, and his stand-ups were hilarious. I'll say I like Martin as a big. We're talking about strictly stand up right now. We're talking about body of work. Just as far as comedy's concerned.
Just comedy, you know? Period. Just comedy, period.
Yeah, comedy. Comedy. Yes, we're talking comedy. Oh,
okay, so if we talking body of work, total body of work, stand ups and movies.
Yeah. Movies,
and shows.
Yes, sir.
All right, So I definitely got to go with my number 3 is Eddie Murphy. Now I wasn't gonna pick Eddie Murphy as my number 3, but then you threw the caveat that it's entire body of work. If it's entire body of work, I go with Eddie Murphy. If it's my number 3 favorite stand-up comedian, like just I don't care about history, I don't care about race or nothing, just overall favorite. No. I'm not gonna say Cat. I'm gonna say somebody you would not even expect. my favorite number 3. Like if there was a new special out right now, I would cut this podcast short, take a shower, and go home and eat my Raisin Bran and watch it. Aziz Ansari. Aziz Ansari is my favorite number 3 stand-up comedian. I like his stand-up. I think he's fucking funny, bro. I think he's fucking funny.
He is funny.
And I would put him in like a slapstick like Martin, because it's not just what he says, it's the way he says it. You know what I mean? Like he has that little thing that he does. He's hilarious to me.
He was funny in Parks and Rec for me. I got Parks and Rec.
Have you ever watched his show?
Yeah,
you ever watched Master of None?
Yeah, I have. I
watch
mess
the second
with Aziz. I mess with Aziz. I think he's all right. I think, but I'm not gonna say he's my top 3, right? Or even top 10. But I mess with him, man. He's a good dude. Now it's funny. You said
Yeah, I would say Eddie, definitely. Yeah, I would definitely say Eddie. Eddie is like a Eddie. He doesn't need any explanation. I think most people would say Eddie. But yeah, who's your number 1?
My number 1 is Eddie, man. My number 1 is Eddie, man. Look, my favorite 2 movies, period, are Coming to America and Trading Places. All right.
Trading Places is hilarious.
Yo, Eddie Murphy is a genius, man. Like,
yeah,
Eddie Murphy is dude. Everything is so. Have you watched that Seinfeld special called
Riding Around in Cars with comedians getting in cars? Yeah,
dude. Eddie by far was one of the best interviews on there, man. Like, dude, the man is just funny for no reason. Like, Eddie's the type of guy you just want to be around, man, just to see what he's gonna say next, right? Like, he's mad. Like, he's very creative. Think about this, man. Go back and look at Coming to America at that time in the 80s. I think it was 86, 87. Not sure the actual date.
Yeah,
I'm
it was around there.
By that, but
it was around there.
Yo, the comedic genius involved in Coming to America, every detail in that. Like, I watch it. I find something new every time I watch that movie, man. And it was just and the thing, it was an introduction to like, Black royalty for us too. Like,
right.
These people do exist.
The idea of it.
We're somebody, right? The idea of it was amazing. So I love Eddie Murphy, man. I love everything he's done. Like, there's certain movies that are whack, right? Like, what was it, Bowfinger, and there was a couple of whack joints, but like, he did
Norbit. Wasn't there one called Norbit?
Norbit was actually funny because of Rasputin.
With the big lady, Rasputin.
Rasputin was a funny character, right? Like, you knew it. Like, me and the wife still trip off that. Like, he did all these characters. He's a talented individual, and he was our Richard Pryor. He was our, I don't know, man. I think
that's why I don't like. Go ahead. Honorable mention who?
Honorable mention. I think my honorable. No, it's Bill Cosby.
Ooh.
So Bill Cosby.
You trying to get us canceled, bro? We're gonna get canceled.
I don't care.
We're gonna get canceled because we fuck with Bill Cosby. Shit, it's a great show.
I fuck with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby basically put affluent blacks on the map. He basically showed us that this can happen. Like, Thursday night, 8:00, everybody was tuned in, and then he went.
Ain't no tomfoolery. Ain't gonna be no buffoonery and tomfoolery.
He did a spinoff with different worlds to make us, to allow us to see that blacks were college and things like that. So Bill Cosby's my man. He's done a lot for our community. He's done a lot for the race. Totally. I mean, as far as his body of work, and he's a funny dude too. Like, he's not like hilariously funny. He's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's subtle funny, man. Like, I know Cosby Show was hilarious to me. I love the Cosby Show. I love his character in the Cosby Show.
It was a great show. It was just an all-around great show.
It's kind of like, for me, like, I think another guy that gets a honorable mention for me is Ray Romano, man. Funny that
Ray Romano is funny. Wait, let me give you my number one.
Okay, my bad. I'm going off on a tangent.
My number 1 is completely different from your number. No, that's not true. My bad. My number 1 is completely different from Cosby. I forgot. You said Eddie Murphy was your number 1. My number 1 is kind of like your number 1. My number 1 is bigger and blacker. It is Chris Rock. Chris Rock.
Oh, wow.
That's my number 1. That is my number. Wow. But again, I'm talking about comedic work. Chris Rock isn't necessarily his movies and stuff. Nah. But as far as being a stand-up comedian, Chris Rock is my go-to guy. He's my go-to guy. Chris Rock has taught me so much from his comedy. He is my go-to guy. That man is
He's a smart guy.
He's a smart guy. He is a smart.
Yo, Everybody Hates Chris is one of my favorite sitcoms too.
It's a great
That's
show.
one of my favorite sitcoms, man. Like Chris Rock is up there for me. It's just too much of Chris Rock is annoying. You know what I mean? That's all. Chris Rock's, I guess his delivery and his voice is just over the top. Like I won't say over the top. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just overbearing sometimes. Like too much, like the screaming. You know, it's all right, bro. Like I get it. You know.
Chris Rock is hilarious, man.
Chris Rock is hilarious. Dope. Chris Rock is amazing.
He's hilarious in the way that he can. I don't know. He just has a way of thinking, but that's because my main motive when watching a stand-up is I don't want to just laugh. I want my thought to be provoked, right? And I want to think differently about something. I don't want to watch someone who is just going to poke fun at people. I want to watch somebody who's going to challenge me to be stronger and bigger and blacker and better. You know, now Aziz Ansari doesn't do that. That's why he didn't make my top 3. He doesn't do that. He's just what I would consider just like a comedian. You know, but definitely Chris Rock definitely challenges me to be a better person. Dave Chappelle does. Who I say my number 3 was? Oh, Eddie Murphy. That's right.
Right. Chris Rock, Eddie, and Chappelle, right?
Yeah, Chris Rock. Then Dave Chappelle 2, and then Eddie's number 3. Yours is Eddie Chappelle. Who's your number 3? I'm Martin. That's right. Yo, man, my abs feel kind of spent, man. I'm having a hard time thinking straight now. We might need to cut this one to a close.
Yeah,
you got a positive. You got something positive to say to our workout buddies before we go?
I would, man. I do. So remember this, guys. Like, you know, one thing that you know, I like to talk a little bit about like my 3 pillars of discipline. What you put on your fork, lust, and your emotions, right? And with emotions, you know, is thought. And I would, you know, encourage you folks to kind of control what you think about, man, because as a man thinketh is what he becomes, right? So it's one of those things that I'm struggling with now is to kind of control my thought process, to always think positive, always think, you know, that I am something before I become it. You understand what I'm saying? So I encourage you guys to do the same. You know what I mean? Kind of squelch the negative thoughts and program yourself to be more positive. I mean, we program ourselves to be negative and you see the outcome, right? So, you know, try a little positivity in your life and try to see yourself as you know, worth more than you know, what you see in the mirror, honestly, what you program yourself to see in the mirror. And I think that it will go far. I think you'll go far. You know, I'm instituting these things slowly in my life and I'm starting to see opportunity come in strange directions. So be open-minded when it comes to, you know, where your success comes from as well. So that's pretty much what I would have to say. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, make sure y'all hit like. Make sure y'all subscribe because we need you. All right, we need you. All right, you've been in PE with Dave and Jay.
I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing to sign the honest. I don't want